You're now watching Q News. Here are the top stories for this hour. French President Emmanuel Macron has announced that France may recognize Palestine in June. Macron stated that they must move towards recognition and that they will do so in the coming months. Macron clarified that the decision was not to please any specific party but to be fair. Macron emphasized that France aims to lead a conference with Saudi Arabia in June to achieve mutual recognition of Palestine with various parties. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdel-Ati has stated that Egypt is making vigorous efforts to establish a ceasefire in Gaza and called for a return to the truce agreement. In a joint press conference with the Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó, Abdel-Ati reaffirmed Egypt's firm stance against the forced displacement of Palestinians. The two ministers discussed the strengthening of bilateral ties, focusing on trade, economic cooperation, and mutual investments, including in renewable energy and tourism. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun has stated that Hezbollah has shown significant flexibility in cooperating on the issues of weapons, agreeing to a specific timeline. He emphasized that this flexibility should be met with positivity and a clear understanding of the current realities Lebanon is facing. Aoun urged for a collaborative approach to address the challenges, acknowledging the importance of balancing security concerns with political and social dynamics. Moving on to Turkey, where US and Russian delegations have arrived for talks in Istanbul on normalizing the work of their diplomatic missions. Russia's foreign ministry said the talks will be held by Russia's new ambassador to Washington, Alexander Darchev, and Deputy Assistant Secretary of State Sonata Coulter. The main focus, according to Moscow and Washington, is restoring the work of diplomatic missions after years of rows, mutual claims of intimidation, and even the freezing of diplomatic property complicated relations between the two nuclear powers. US President Donald Trump did not rule out a military option on Iran just days ahead of reported talks between the two countries. Trump added that Israel would be the leader of a military option. This week, Trump made a surprise announcement that the United States and Iran were poised to begin direct talks on Tehran's nuclear program, but Iran's foreign minister said the discussions in Oman would be indirect. The Kremlin has dismissed comments on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky that China was being drawn into the conflict in Ukraine, saying that Beijing has a balanced position. China warned Ukraine against making irresponsible remarks after Zelensky said Ukrainian intelligence had revealed at least 155 Chinese citizens were fighting on the side of Russia in Ukraine. Zelensky said Russia was recruiting Chinese nationals via social media and that Chinese officials were aware of it. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin Jian called Beijing a firm supporter and active promoter of a peaceful settlement of the crisis and said China always attempts to dissuade its citizens from signing up to fight in foreign conflicts. China's foreign ministry has called for a sober view of its role in the Ukraine crisis. Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said China urges relevant parties against making irresponsible remarks. He added that the Chinese government always asks its citizens to avoid any form of involvement in armed conflict. This concludes our top stories for this hour. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more updates on Q News.